I was the only one who got one more lap because we were first one out the pit lane, which I was quite surprised by. So I think everyone else was just sleeping a little bit, and we got one more lap because we were second one out. I overtook the Ferrari, and that got me one more lap. But I mean, it was a perfect lap until the last chicane. It was just so difficult to put a good lap together today. I doubt anyone probably put a perfect lap together on a day like today. So one mistake's acceptable, I think. Even though I wasn't too pleased with it, the lap was so good until that point. I got away with it. Otherwise, it would have been a much bigger margin, which I would have liked more. But pole is still the goal of today, and that's what we achieved. So a good day.
Of course, you always want to be first, but I felt like that was never really on the cards in Q3. But again, we executed everything well in Q1. Q2, we stayed out of trouble. We had a good run plan. The communication was good, also with the tires. And then, simply in Q3, I never really felt that I had the grip. And then, of course, we lacked maybe one lap. But even then, I think, it's always difficult to know. I think realistically, we were just not at the same level. But still to be second is good. And now we just have to focus ahead. I think for tomorrow, still a lot of unknowns for everyone because some tires that we will run tomorrow, they haven't been run yet. And we need to see how our car will perform on that.
Very happy, very proud of everyone, especially on X-Wet in Q1 and Q2. Every time we were crossing the line, I think we were P1 at the time, and I was kind of wishing the track would stay wet because on X-Wet I was really confident, very comfortable with the car, and we knew that on Inters probably that performance would go away a bit because it's closer to dry and closer to the conditions of FP3 where we were nothing special. But we managed to keep ourselves in the fight, fighting for pole until the last lap. I did a really good lap. I thought it was pole worthy, but I was the first one across the line, and I knew there was some quick cars coming, and it was maybe not going to be enough.
Q3 didn't really come together for us, but I actually had some sort of steering issue. The last 3 laps, it was like I lost power steering. I don't think we'd have been on pole because I didn't have a great feeling with the car, but it was kind of quite annoying when it happened. So I was really struggling to turn around the corners. Don't know what the issue was, but it just didn't come together in Q3 when Q1, Q2 had been pretty solid.
Got a yellow flag, and that was pretty much the end of it. So I mean, we were quick. There's no doubt about that. Just one way or another, things seem to not be going the way I want at the moment. So, at least I can say the pace was good out there. Felt pretty good in Q3. Just, things that we couldn't control.
It's been a tough qualifying session. It's crazy for us to be using the extreme wet. We never really used this tire, and I think it just shows how slippery it was today. So just happy with the calls. I think we did miss the last lap by like 1 or 2 seconds, and I think we maybe had an opportunity to be even higher up without that. But obviously very happy with the performance today.
At the beginning, I think first laps on this track on wet conditions, and we were just testing the limits of the car and the tires, and difficult choice as well between the full wets and the inters. With no experience at all, but it was definitely good for us. 2 hours ago, we were not thinking about P7, so the rain definitely helped us today.
We got screwed at the end by Charles. He went out. There was yellow flag, and that was it. I was way up on my lap. We were looking at a top 4, and yellow flag is yellow flag, so that's it. It's so frustrating to have to back off from that, and
Since I joined the team, we've been struggling massively at finding the grip in those kind of conditions. It's hugely frustrating because it's probably been my biggest strength in the junior categories, and then we are doing something wrong. I have no idea what that is because we've turned the car upside down. We've had Lewis and obviously Carlos before that also joined from other teams that could tell us the feelings they had with the other cars, but it's just extremely difficult to find the grip with our car, and very, very unpredictable as well, which causes us to do a lot of mistakes. So it's Not that we're not trying, because with the team we've tried absolutely everything, but for some reason we haven't found our way yet.
Overall, very happy, to get it in Q3, second weekend in a row. So especially in these conditions was very difficult, but managed to be on it straight away. Q1, Q2, and I think definitely very competitive on the wets. On Inter, unfortunately, the last Q3 just could not put any temperature in the tire, and we're just quite far. You have some very crazy high-speed corners around here where it's very, very sketchy inside the car. I must say it's exciting, like the adrenaline you get. But you see those balls coming pretty fast at you, and especially at the start, like the track was very, very damp. It was getting better session after session, but it was one of the most, let's say, you had to be very active in the wheel.
I didn't really know where I was the whole session, but just at the end, obviously, I knew it was close. A bit of a bummer the last lap. I had a bit of a problem in the last corner, dropped a bunch of lap time, so it would have been close. But all in all, very challenging quali for everyone. Q1, some of the lowest grip conditions that I ever experienced. It was, more than challenging. So chapeau to everyone, even to keep it on the tarmac.
Q1 and then beginning of Q2 we were first for some time, and then just a bad decision to go on Inters. Team, we thought it was going to be good enough for Inters, and we tried it, but they said I was going to get 3 push, I only got 2 push, so there was a misunderstanding there. And then we threw it away. We threw away the opportunity, I think, to fight for probably first today.
Clearly didn't make the most out of it, which is really disappointing, because we clearly had much more pace than that. I had to back off in the last lap, for Lewis, the second to last, and then when I wanted to push again, I just lost tire temp and locked up into turn 1. So the last 2 laps I didn't improve. I did my lap much earlier on, and the track was much better at the end. So we clearly had Q3 pace in here, which is disappointing, but it's very positive because the conditions out there were very hard, and we've shown today that we are still there, when the conditions are tough and when you have to, get the laps and optimize everything you can. So been struggling lately, but that session definitely feels good.
Nice to get into Q2. I did a mistake in Q1, but managed to get away with it because I had a good lap on the board earlier on. For me, the fact that we were so far off in Q2 can only be down to one thing, which is the tires. I think I did every lap pushing, and I in Q1 that was working really well. Just much wetter track, and every degree of temperature was helping you. But in Q2 it got to the point where I think the tires start to overheat a little bit, and the fact that me and Esteban were qualified with a similar lap time and both very far away from what we needed to get through into Q3. For me, the only thing that could be is that we maybe didn't do the right sequence of laps, but it's really hard to judge here on the wet tire. We never ran with that tire, so it's a big challenge.
Yeah, very difficult. I think just a lot of sliding in general, and the car was not nice to be driving today. It was not very enjoyable, but definitely very tricky conditions. I just touched the car and I lost the car really aggressively. Just lost the lap there. So I was improving a lot. Looking quite good, but just didn't really get the lap in. So it was a big pity, but hopefully tomorrow we can have a better day.
Just a little bit of a snap in the row, kind of the place you don't want to have a snap. So it was sketchy out there, sketchy for everyone. A lot of aquaplaning. I was surprised we were driving, to be honest, in that weather, but it was fun while it lasted, and just got caught out. So nothing really to say. I think my lap was going to be good. I've been quick all weekend, and that's just how it is sometimes.
In the last lap, I locked up the front right. Still need to understand the reason, because obviously knowing was the last lap, I took some margin on the braking just to avoid any bad surprises, but I still ended up locking up and losing the lap. So it was a shame because the lap was good enough for to get through.
Visibility was tough out here. It was my first quali in the wet, so it was a bit intense there, and trying to understand what to do as well. But just missed out in that last 2 laps. really struggled to extract some grip from the car in the last 2 laps. I was feeling quite comfortable earlier in the session, and then at the end just lost it.
Just didn't have any grip, like just completely ice. I did whatever I can, but yeah, just no grip. Yeah, that's it. It's just the read.
Don't really have words for it. It's obviously not good enough, and I just didn't have any. Couldn't get temperature into the tires. Just had a lot of understeer, and then I had. I think one of my front brakes was glazed, so I was really struggling to stop it in the corners. It's very annoying, of course, because I felt like in P3, I felt like the car's feeling awesome, and honestly, I thought it was going to be a great day, but it turned out to be the worst. So obviously, can't get much worse than that. So.